Yep. Well, that's one to stay tuned to.
Yeah. All right. Come down to the wire. Who's your number one?
My number one. Your number 3, the Toronto Blue Jays.
Toronto Blue Jays. That's why you have the hat on.
That's why the hat's on.
Okay.
See, I believe that with all the moves that the Blue Jays made over this offseason, they've put together, some could argue, a all-star lineup between their 3 and 7 hitters. You got to think that Melky Cabrera, Edwin Encarnacion, Jose Bautista, Brett Lowry, those guys are just going to go off. And with the addition of Jose Reyes and Emilio Bonifacio, you could hit Jose Reyes 1, put Emilio Bonifacio 9, and when the lineup turns over, you're going to have 2 guys on base with
speed. And a single can score Bonifacio from first because he has lightning speed going around those bases.
Exactly. I mean, and their rotation. You said it. R.A. Dickey, Josh Johnson, Mark Burley. If those guys have years like they can, you got to figure they could win 3 games in a row easily, which 3 games is a series as far as I'm concerned. And even the back of their starting rotation, you could have Ricky Romero, you could have Happ, you could have Morrow. All day you can just go down that rotation. Bullpen, it could be more solidified, but then again, you got to think about who has a great bullpen. I mean, the Washington Nationals, who we both had at number 2, they have 2 closers and a pretty solid bullpen. Well, the Blue Jays bullpen is solid, and it can get them through games. If they happen to get a better closer, maybe through trading someone or maybe looking out in the free agent market, maybe Jose Valverde, you never know how many games they could win. And with AL East teams getting older, like the Boston Red Sox and the New York Yankees, it just opens the door for the Blue Jays to just walk right in and take that title.
Yeah, and the Rays, they haven't improved much this offseason. I don't even think they've added players this offseason. All they have is Evan Longoria and David Price.
They've been fire-sailing players as far as I'm concerned.
I think they'll finish pretty far back, and I think the Blue Jays are that team in the AL East that have improved enough to win that title.
I agree. And we'll see if keeping all these guys healthy, getting to the playoffs, maybe we'll see the Blue Jays in the World Series next season.
Do you think that just on paper that's nice, or do you think they can actually mold together there in Toronto?
Well, molding together is going to be one thing. Of course, you do have to play together to understand what other people do. I mean, coming from playing baseball, you got to understand that certain cutoff throws are going to be off at first, and then a few pitchers working with JP and Sabia and all that. You got to figure there's going to be a little bit of miscommunication at first, but it's a long season, 162 games. They're going to get it together.
Yeah, they're veterans, so you know
they've played this game for a long time, and they understand that. Well, if we work as one, we're going to be great. But I mean, you just got to think going through the AL. Maybe the only pitchers I can see shutting down this lineup completely is Verlander. Yeah. Maybe Sabathia if he has a great game.
Jared Weaver, maybe.
It just depends on who's going against them because their lineup's scary.
Yeah. It's a meaty lineup right there.
It is. They can go deep, they can get on base, they can drive in runs. It's just all there for them.
And drum roll, please. Number 1 for me, the Detroit Tigers. The runner-ups in last year's World Series. I just think that with Prince Fielder and the Triple Crown winner Miguel Cabrera, they're going to get Victor Martinez back, I'm thinking, for the DH. I just think that lineup and the pitching staff with, as we said before, Verlander and Max Scherzer, Doug Fister, I just think that lineup and that pitching staff is just right for each other because maybe the hitters will have a down game, but the pitching staff will bail them out. Maybe the pitching staff will have a down game, and the lineup will bail them out. You know, you just never know with the Tigers if they're going to lose or win. But now, back then you never knew that. But now you just know that they're going to win every game because they've been in the playoffs every single year the past couple of years. And with the Indians improving just a little bit, it's just not enough to beat the Tigers this year.
Well, and even with the Indians improving, you got to think the Indians weren't there last year, and the Indians, I think, have the mindset of getting better for the future instead of winning right now. And with this lineup, like you're saying, the Tigers have a legitimate shot to win right now. And, I mean, looking forward, the White Sox choked last year. I haven't seen much improvement by them.
Yeah, they didn't re-sign Pierzynski.
They lost their catchers.
Yeah, and, the White Sox, they have Adam Dunn still, and with him, it's just strikeout central for him.
Exactly. You either expect him to strike out or it's out of the ballpark.
Yeah.
And no one's going to hit it out of the ballpark more than they strike out.
Yeah.
It just doesn't happen. And so, I mean, the other two teams in that division, the Royals, they're young. They could be good. It depends on how their lineup looks. They have a few hurlers that they picked up that, might be able to match up against them. But like you said, the Tigers' rotation is going to shut the other team down.
Mm-hmm.
And if it doesn't, the offense is on. And when they're both clicking, you just got to look out.